From LALATE headquarters in Santa Monica, this is Afternoons LALATE.
It's a huge day for June 24th, 2022, as America sees the stock market and the NASDAQ rally up and gas going down. What's going on? In today's recording, we're going to go over the big fourth stimulus check that is in every U.S. state that you need to get today, because the economy is not in a good spot today, and that consumers are looking for good news in a field of bad news. Step 1, go onto this video and become a member. Step 2, get that incredible newsletter that members are doing and get in that newsletter and get that fourth stimulus check in every U.S. state. Upwards of $80,000 fourth stimulus checks. In this recording, we're going to do three things. We're going to go over where the economy is today, as the NASDAQ and Dow is up slightly and the gasoline prices are down as well. And we're going to go over where this economy is going, as this is not the bottom of the economy. And Americans are trying to look for a glimmer of good news in a sea of bad news. That is troubling, because they're trying to give themselves a false narrative that we are out of the headwinds of a spiraling downward economy, which has three phases I've identified. Between now and September is phase 1. Between September and January is phase 2, and that's going to be dramatic. That's going to look like the pandemic of 2020. And then phase 3 is the recession. The recession is likely because gas prices will remain high, the CPI will remain high, and the Fed will continue to raise rates. The Fed has a dual mandate, and that is to reduce inflation and get price stability, and to have maximum labor employment. But today we have the labor numbers, and they were not good. I've been telling you, 230,000 new jobless claims per week. What did they come in at less than 24 hours ago? Meantime, we'll be looking back at the situation with gasoline and why gasoline remains high and continues to remain high, as one viral image went nationwide. It was for 7-Eleven, the wonderful fast food operator, and I'll go over what that image was. What your image is, lots of checks. Get them. We're going to go over all these incredible checks in today's recording, upwards of $80,000. It's America's most loved show at the midday. It's Afternoons, and it's June 24th, 2022, starting right now. And good afternoon, everybody. It's a beautiful day here along the coast for June 24th, 2022. And one thing you can say is that it's cooling down along the coast today. And the stock market is cooling down inflationary concerns, recessionary pressures, and headwinds. But let me tell you, it's a false narrative, because the economy is going to be getting worse very quickly. And Americans are looking for too much good news. I'll explain to you why in just a second. What you need to know is going to do three things in this recording. If you're new to LA, this is the number 3 most watched financial news channel in America. Welcome. We're going to go over in this recording the economy today, where the economy is going next, and that fourth stimulus check for you in every U.S. state. These are the three things you need to know. You need to know where this economy is tracking at any moment, where it's going, and where the money is for you to grab today to prepare for it before it gets there. And with that, good afternoon. I hope you're having a beautiful day. I'll be with you all weekend long with a series of brand new shows. And of course, tonight on Evenings LA at 5 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, America's most watched show in prime time for financial news. It's a big show tonight. I'll see you there as well. Today, what we see with this economy and Wall Street, NASDAQ, and also consumer trading is that they believe, at least some consumers, that there's a glimmer of hope out there. And they're sort of gravitating for that glimmer of hope. They're bottom feeding for good news in a sea of bad news. Is that dangerous? It's very dangerous. Let me tell you what's going on. Americans who have investments have seen that investment value dramatically in just a few weeks, because this is the phase 1 from now until September. Whether it's stocks, bonds, crypto, real estate, auto, people's investments are going down very dramatically. And they want to have reassuring news that that's ended, or that it's going the other direction. Let me make this very clear to you. It hasn't ended, and it's not going the other direction. And so what they're trying to find is glimmers of hope in daily activities. Here is what's going on right today. The stock market is up 600 points, the Dow, and the NASDAQ up 300 points generally today, both 2% up. And if you look at the stocks that are up today, they were down yesterday. Does it sound sort of familiar? It does sound familiar. What we have are certain stocks like travel and leisure, the Carnival cruises, the cruise industries that were hit dramatically, down 9% yesterday, backed up today. What's going on, LA? What's going on is that the consumer is trying to really find good news to say, my value of my investments is great, and maybe I'll get some more. What can I assimilate this to? What can I equate this to? This is like someone that's been told, there's a hurricane hitting your town in 3 days. Evacuate now, prepare your home, lock it down, get some food in the car, and get ready to go. And then that consumer says, oh, look, one weather analyst said it's tracking, 5 inches to the right. So I'm going to stay in place. In fact, I'll go down the street and buy some more extra bread because it's cheaper today. That's what's sort of going on. Everyone's telling the consumer there's a storm coming, get ready to deal with it. And then some consumers are saying, you know what? Maybe it's going to move 2 inches to the left. I'll stay in my home and risk it. And that is what's risky today. Consumer confidence numbers were released minutes ago, and they were the lowest reading since June, according to the U.S. University of Michigan survey obtained by LALATE News today. It showed that consumer confidence is again low. It was low 2 weeks ago in another report. And they say that they're not happy, and that's why they're not spending, and they're worried about their savings. We had the data yesterday about the consumer worried about their savings, uncomfortable with the amount of money in the bank they have. And in this report, let me tell you, this is exactly what's going on in the economy today. In this report, while the top line number I just went over with you was really bad, inside the report, there was another number where the consumer believed that the inflationary expectations were easing back a little bit, nearly 5%. And so here we go. The number was bad, and yet buried in the report was one good number, and the consumer's like, oh, but there's a good number in there. Folks, this is not what should be going on. What's going on is that the labor numbers were released yesterday, obtained by LA News, and obtained by you with analysis 3 weeks earlier. 3 weeks earlier, I told you that 230,000 new jobless claims will be announced by the Department of Labor last week and this week. Last week, I was spot on. It was not 230, it was 229. Got it. And then this week, I said it was going to be 230 again. Did I get it? 227. That's pretty darn close. That's within 3,000. That's pretty darn close. Amidst that horrible number, that is a really bad number. We have Liz Warren, we have Bernie, we have Janet Yellen, we have Joe Biden, we even have Jay Powell saying labor's really strong. Labor's not strong. If there's 250,000 new unemployment claims per week, that was exactly the number when the pandemic started to hit in the very first week. That's a bad number. In fact, the continuing unemployment claims is also really bad. Here's what you need to know is that the situation is that people are just trying to find good news to comfort themselves. And that is very dangerous when the situation overall is not good. That's why you got to get that forced stimulus check in every USA. We're going to get that forced stimulus check for you in just a second. $80,000, single individual, married couple, with children, without children, and on average, about $100,000 plus per person. Do you want that? You do want that. In fact, you need that. You need that to prepare for where this economy is going. I'm going to go over that in a second. And that's why you need to get these forced stimulus checks that are in every U.S. state. You're only going to see them on LALATE. Let's go back to the data that came in today as well. Royal Caribbean up 12%. Norwegian Cruises up 11%. Does it sound familiar? Yeah, they were down 9% yesterday. So here we go. Just volatility. Bookings up, bookings down. Let me go over the sort of the analysis. This is why you got to be very careful of those talking heads. Bobbleheads, lobster heads. No, talking heads. One of the talking heads today said that consumers are getting out. I'm not going to say his name because I'm sort of trashing him. Consumer names are getting out and they're paying for expenses. They're getting out and they're booking household essentials and beauty, and they're booking travel and leisure. Folks, that's not the data out there. Here we go. This is exactly what is happening. Here's an analyst who's running a fake narrative. People are getting out and spending lots of money. No, let's go over the data. Car purchases down 17%. Home purchases are down dramatically 17%, at least 21%. And then when you look at travel and leisure, bookings are down 3%, are down dramatically month after month, at least 3%. And yesterday we went over the airlines that actually killed destinations. They yanked the destinations because they said they're not getting people to come on in to pay $500 to go to Toledo. They killed the destinations. When we look at hospitality and leisure, which is, restaurants and bars, they're dramatically down. And amidst all that, there still seems to be people that says people are spending money like it's going out of style. They're not, and I really get tired every time I see that data point. The data point is that Americans, their savings are down, their consumer confidence is lower, and they're even more concerned about where this economy is going. In fact, the airlines are. The American Airlines yesterday dropped 4 cities, including Toledo, Ohio, Islip, and Ithaca, and United Airlines is cutting 50 flights a day to Newark Airport. Meantime, layoffs continue to grow. Labor is not a good situation. We have Netflix announcing 300 employees laid off this week. We have Tesla announcing 10% of its labor workforce gone. We also have Coinbase announcing 18%. We also have hiring freezes. I listened to one of the videos yesterday on replay. I heard myself say hiring freezes. It just did not come out well. It was so muddled. It sounded like freezed. Hiring freezes. There we go. Use your enunciation, LA. Hiring freezes are dramatically bad. That is when the American consumer when the American worker goes to apply at a job and the door has a sign on it that says, "We're not hiring ever for the next 2 years. Don't come back. Stay away." This is big problems across the board. Consumer confidence was bad yesterday. The percentage of people who are uncomfortable with the amount of money they have set aside has now down 50 to 58% from 44%. They're uncomfortable. So the uncomfortableness has risen up to 58% from 44% 2 years ago. And then people who are comfortable with their savings in their bank account is now down 42% from 44%. Bad, bad, bad. And here comes that analyst today. People are getting out. They're spending money. You notice that analyst had the comment today when Norwegian Cruise Lines and Carnival was up 9%, but did not have that analysis yesterday when they were down 9%? Yeah, you see what's going on. It's dangerous. It's really dangerous. And I think where it's bred from, in my opinion, is the spirit of crypto. Crypto spirit of 2022 was, I'm always going to be a billionaire out of crypto, and I'm never going to lose anything. That was sort of the spirit of a lot of people. Cardano's up 900%. I'm going to be a billionaire by tomorrow. Oh, it's down, but I'm still going to be up. Shiba is now worthless, but it's still going to be make me a fortune. That was that sort of hunting for the false narrative, and I believe it's now spread for June 24, 2022 to Wall Street analysts as well. Jay Powell is set to announce federal guidance for that July FOMC meeting. What is he likely to do? 3/4 of a basis point at least. There is always the possibility he'll go to 1. And then he's off in August, or they're off in August, and they'll be likely to do 3/4 in September, then 3/4 again, then half. This is why, as an individual who's watching this channel, this is what you got to do right today. Do the following 3 things. Increase your savings, remove your debt, and especially remove any adjustable rate debt, which is things like credit card debt, car loans, anything where the debt is flexible, because these interest rate spikes that just went over and over again until November, really going to kill you. Moreover, remove the cost burdens in the household. Wherever you can cut costs and increase your savings, please do so. What's going to happen in the next 90 days? Next 90 days, labor is going to be really bad. For every analyst who continues to say we have a strong labor market, I just really want to walk up to them and say, that's because you have a job. How dare you say that? Because you are letting people think that if they're laid off, they can get a job tomorrow. That is one of the worst things an analyst can do, is give false notions to people that their situation is so perfect they don't need to prepare accordingly. Now, there's nothing wrong with being positive, but when you're telling people not to be prepared accordingly, what are they thinking about? They're thinking that now, between September, that if they're laid off, good. And that yesterday, I told you the number one song in America was an ode to quitting your job. And well, the good news is that song is no longer number one. Congratulations to Charlie Puth and Jung Jock, because they've taken that song out of number one and they're now number one. People are going to lose their jobs between now and September, and then analysts who tell them they're not is just really disingenuous. Moreover, not to tell them to prepare for potentially losing their jobs is even worse. Let me tell you what's going to happen. Between now and September, people are going to be blindsided if they don't know where the economy is, because labor shortages will switch to labor and to hiring freezes. And what's going to happen is that Americans that are not prepared accordingly will not know what to do. This is what I want you to know today. This is why you're watching this channel. If you have a job, or if your friend or neighbors have a job, they need to do the following. First, they need to go next door to the job next door and start stalking that operation. Understand whether that operation is financially stable, and if it is, then be ready to pounce if you get laid off to go next door and take a job there. If you take a job there, or you go in to apply for a job there when laid off, take it right away. Don't hold out for a hiring bonus or a salary raise. That's the false narrative that some wrong analysts on Wall Street want you to think. That there's a labor shortage and you can just sing your song into number one on Billboard. No, there are less jobs being created on a regular basis than on-farm payroll jobs, at least last month that was down. And with less jobs being created and more businesses going under, guess what's going to happen? Less jobs. And when you're laid off, there'll be less jobs. What's also happening is that Americans have not been told by broadcast media, but you're told by me, that the unemployment stimulus of 2020 is gone. Gone. And this is very important because a lot of reports still say that Americans really do have some of that money saved up from that unemployment stimulus of 2020. It was a lot of money at the time. They are ready to claim unemployment if they get laid off tomorrow. The problem is those unemployment benefits are not there like they were. What's gone? What is gone? All of it. All of it's gone. FPUC, that's $600 a week that went on top of your existing benefits, which was perhaps the biggest of all the items, gone. Never coming back. PEUC, those extra weeks of unemployment benefits if you're laid off, gone. Not coming back. PUA, those unemployment benefits for independent contracts, if you're laid off, gone, not coming back. Now, let me pause for a second. I've never done this analysis in the last few weeks. I think I need to do it right now. If you get laid off and you're a 1099 a worker, there's no benefits. Let me make this very clear. There's no benefits. PUA was huge because so many people are independent contractors. They're 1099s. You're an Uber or you're a Lyft or something like that. You're not an employee. You're not a W-2. You're 1099. And Americans had that wonderful, it was one of the best instruments of the pandemic, that wonderful PUA if you're laid off. If you're laid off, there's nothing of that anywhere. Zero. So you're getting $0. You're not only not getting FPUC at $600 a week, you're not even getting any benefits. You're getting zero. The only people that would get something are UI, independent, are employees, but you're going to get less weeks, and you're not going to get that add-on. So if your unemployment benefits are only $100 a week, and you were looking for that $600 on top of it, that's it. And you're not going to get as many weeks as you're going to get. Even worse, the EIDL is gone. EIDL grant, EIDL loan, gone. LWA, gone. PPP, gone. All the items for independent contractors and small business owners, gone. Those are the people that are in big trouble because they may likely go under first before then anyone else. When a recession hits, how are small business owners hurt dramatically? They're hurt dramatically because they cannot borrow. Most small business owners rely upon an element of debt. But if Jay Powell's raising that debt on the next 4 or 5 FOMC meetings out of control, you're not going to be able to afford that debt. That credit debt, that personal loan debt, that business debt, you're not going to be able to afford it, and you're going to go under. That's why the American economy is going in a different direction. And then Americans who are looking for good news on a regular basis of where this economy is by trading up Carnival or trading up Norwegian Cruises 9% today when they were down 9% yesterday is just sort of like it's sort of like a Dogecoin analysis. I just want to tell you I'm going to make a fortune off of Dogecoin. No, you're not. Well, it went up 1 cent today. Well, there I am. I'm going to $1 million. No, you're not. You're getting a forced stimulus check in every U.S. state. You're getting a forced stimulus check in every U.S. state because this is what you got to do. You got to increase your savings right today. You got to remove your debt and you got to increase your savings by getting that forced stimulus check in every U.S. state. How you do it? You do it with me in the second half. Every video on this channel does three things. It goes over where this economy is. You're seeing that today with the stock market up and some of the analysts trying to glimmer some good news in here when there's a sea of bad news. You're going over where this economy is going with the projections, with the negative consumer confidence continue to come on in, and the labor numbers continue to get worse by the minute. And then in every video, we go over how to get money. You need that money because why? Let's look at the graphic. September. September is likely where the financial cliff will occur. Jay Powell, testifying before Capitol Hill this week, was asked by Elizabeth Warren, the voice of reason, on a Senate Housing Committee, Mr. Jay Powell, Mr. Fed Governor, Mr. Fed President, can you tell me, is it likely that you're going to send us over a financial cliff? He said, yes, it's possible. He said, in view of what's going on with world economies, it's very possible. It's hard to potentially get this right. Folks, if that's ever a warning to you, why would you ignore his warning and listen to some analyst who says, it's just coming up roses left and right? You got to prepare for that financial cliff. He did not say the date of the financial cliff. My predictions is September. My predictions is September because I believe that's when this economy hits really badly. It's going to look like day one of the pandemic, and that the recession of 2023 for 2 years will be a slow progression downward. He was also asked by Liz Warren, you have a dual mandate to give price stability and also to ensure that there's maximum employment. What happens, Mr. Powell, if you remove maximum employment in search of reducing inflation? He said we could have that problem. Translation, people could lose their jobs by Jay Powell chasing inflation. That's what's going to happen. When you have gas going higher, the CPI tracking higher, which is inflation, Jay Powell raising interest rates, people will lose their jobs. It's a fait of complaint. It's going to happen. That Americans who don't know that's happening to their economy in less than 90 days from now may think that they're in a great situation. And if you listen to those analysts today that says everyone's booking airfare, they're not. Everyone's booking travel, they're not. Everyone is booking and buying cars and homes, they're not. That type of wrong analysis is going to leave people by the wayside. And the second half of this video, we're not going to do that. What we're going to do as a wonderful, loving family is get those forced stimulus checks in every U.S. state. Where do these checks come from? Why are they here? Why have you not heard them somewhere else? Why are they not in your bank account? Let's go over the details of that right now before we get over those checks go to those checks in the second half. This is 2022. Things are done differently now than they were done in 2020. Now, at the start of the pandemic, we had a lot of programs that paid a lot of money. Viewers on this channel sometimes got over $200,000 for stimulus. Where? From items that they had to do something to get. But then in late 2020 and early 2021, there were some certain stimulus items that were very few pennies upon. $600, $1,200. That's not a lot of money. That's not going to cut it. That's not going to pay your bills for more than a few days. Those items made people get very relaxed into thinking that was the only way stimulus was done. That was never the way that stimulus was done. It was always done by you doing something. But this is 2022. That was 2020. That was not a recession. This is heading into recession. That was coming out of a pandemic or going into a pandemic or in a pandemic. This has nothing to do with a pandemic. This is an inflationary environment heading into recession. And it means it's an entirely different economic environment. It's also a lot different for stimulus. What's also different is that reporting is changed dramatically. Americans rely upon information from distant sources, but this is why LALATE is now the #3 most watched financial news channel in America, heading to #2. Because back in the month of March, my viewers, trained by me daily on this channel, said to me, LALATE, go find me a forced stimulus check. Congress hasn't gotten it done. Why did they say that, the viewers? Why did you say that? Two reasons. They have been trained by me to understand that stimulus checks do not have to come from Congress. They do not have to come from a Build Back Better Act. They do not have to come from a vote. They can also come from the states and also from the president. That's why I found these checks. They also understood the importance of getting the money during good times because you don't wait till your back is against the wall. That back against the wall is another way to say the financial cliff, and that's another way to say September. And back in the month of February, I said we're going into recession. I was the only American broadcaster predicting that back in the month of February, even saying the word recession. You wouldn't even hear the word recession in American broadcasting in February. My viewer said, my goodness, give me money right away, LA. And I found it. I had 3 mandates for myself in finding this money for you. Number one, that is big sums of money. I didn't want $600 or $1,200. That's not going to cut it. You're not going to have that amount of money in your bank account very long. If you get it, you'd spend it in just a week or 2 weeks. I needed big money to get you through September and at least into next year. Number 2, I want to ensure maximum eligibility, so the most viewers possible could qualify for this money. Number 3, I want to ensure that the messaging was very clear on camera, that you get the money, you continue to get the money. And that's what we got. The average view of this channel qualifies for over about $100,000 from these checks, which I found that came from the President of the United States by executive action and came from the states. They're in every U.S. state across the board. They're still there, but we don't know if they'll be there indefinitely. Number 2, you qualify generally. Single individual, $75,000 less annual income, you go get them. Married couple, $150,000 less, you go get them. If you rent, if you own, if you have children, if you don't have children, if you're on benefits, SSI, SSDI, Social Security, railroad benefits, or veterans benefits, you go get them. You get them. That's the verb because this is 2022. They're not landing by direct deposit for people who do nothing. For people who do nothing, get nothing. For people who don't learn, they don't earn. This is 2022. The tough love's coming in through this video. You can feel it right now. And that tough love reveals big payments. Step 1 is go right on this video and subscribe to the channel. That's number 3 in America, heading to number 2. Step 2, you become a member. And step 3, in the second half of this video, we're going to go over that membership newsletter that features the 4th stimulus checks in every U.S. state for you to apply and go get. They're huge, and they're there, and you're going to get them now before the stimulus stampede hits later this year, before the financial cliff hits later this year, before that hurricane lands later this year, before a recession comes next year. You're getting that money right now. You're staying with me in the second half of this video. Welcome to the hundreds of new members who have joined this week. Actually, hundreds, almost thousands in the last few months that have become new members. So I will make sure that everything I say on camera is brand new and fresh for you. If you're just brand new here, you understand it clearly. I won't take anything simplistic. I'll make it very detailed in the second half for you. It's a big day for June 24th, 2022. In the second half of this video, we're going to go over these incredible checks. We're going to go over how you get them, where they are, and how you pounce. Step 1, subscribe. Step 2, become a member, and I'll be back with you in 60 seconds. Plus, in the second half of this video, we'll have a preview of Eden's LA Tonight, where I go over the raising up of your benefits and also that new solution for gasoline that Joe Biden proposed. Does it work or does it not work? See you back in 60 seconds. If you want money right now, not 5 days from now, and not 5 weeks from now, then reach out to the community page. The volunteers can help you find that money for rent and utilities. That's at news.la.com/community. The community page features a series of volunteers who are viewers like you. They can help you find rent, utilities, SNAP, food benefits, mortgage assistance, and help you with eviction moratorium questions as well. Their Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram individuals reach out to them and indicate the city and state you're from, and they'll get back to you shortly. That's a community page. Volunteers working for you, viewers helping one another. Stay with LA for more. Join LALATE Daily for the excitement of the new LALATE live daily. The excitement starts on mornings LALATE at 9 a.m.
home. LALATE returns at 11 a.m. daily. And then afternoons LALATE at 1 p.m. Join us daily as the excitement continues live from Santa Monica on LALATE.
And the excitement continues right now for a June 24th, 2022 from Santa Monica, California. How you doing? Hope you're having a beautiful day. Did you become a member during the commercial break? I hope you did, because that incredible newsletter is yours. It's coming out tonight, Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. That has that 4 stimulus check in every U.S. state. When you go over those incredible checks starting right now. It's important for you to understand how to get these checks, and we're going to go over each of them right this moment. These checks are huge. A single individual, $75,000 less, go get them. Married couple, $150,000 less, go get them. If you rent, if you own, if you have children, if you don't have children, go get them. If you're on benefits, go get them. If you're in any U.S. state, go get them. Are you ready? The first check is $6,500 to $12,000. I told you I don't mess around. Do I? No, I don't. It is called the Weatherizing Grant Check, and I call it Check A on this channel. It's a 4 stimulus check in every U.S. state, and you go get it. How do you get it? Simple. So simple. Step 1, subscribe to this channel. Step 2, go under the video where it says join this channel. Click the link and become a member. Purple Hawk, Purple Power, or Calcino VIP. Then go down into the newsletter to where you see Check A, and you're going to click the link and apply. Apply. So simple. Routing times are about 1 week, and you go right in and apply. First, you click the link. It sends you into the nationwide website. You choose then your state, and then you choose the Weatherizing Grant, and you go get it. Very straightforward. But you're not going to stop there. No, you're not, because I found you other checks also in your state. That's why viewers of this channel qualify for over $100,000 in checks. You just saw $6,500 to $12,000. Well, here's another $80,000 on top of that. Whoa, we're growing very quickly, aren't we? This is $15,000 to $80,000. It's a 4 stimulus check in every U.S. state. Single individual, $75,000 less, go get it. Renters, individuals on benefits, go get it. And this is absolutely wonderful. It's called the Homeowner's Grant Check. And how do you get this wonderful Check B? You go right down the membership newsletter. You go right down till you find it, Check B for the members newsletter. Then I'll have the link to go right in and apply. You're applying online. These are only online application websites. You go right in and you pounce. You choose your respective state. You get that application in, and there you go. Check A, $6,500 to $12,000. Check B, upwards of $80,000, but the average viewer is tracking $66,000 to $80,000. Boy, we're already at $100,000, but I'm not done there yet. We're going to get more checks, and we got Check C. Average view of this channel has gotten $45,000 from Check C. Look at the numbers here, folks. $80,000, $45,000, plus $6,500 to $12,000. Look, we're clearly over $100,000 per person. I don't mess around here. I need to make sure you are financially stable as this economy gets really bad by September. Check C is on average a monthly stimulus check, MSC, $2,000 monthly. That comes by direct deposit once you're approved, and it is for rent, utilities, mortgage, and assistance, and more. $2,000 monthly stimulus check. Would you like that? Yes. How do you get that Check C? You get that rent, utilities, mortgages, and more. What do? You become a member. Then you go down that newsletter till you find Check C. When you find Check C, it tells you who to call, what to say, and how to say it. And there you go. Check C has been one of the big success stories of this channel. LA has gotten viewers over $50 million since it launched in April of 2020. And that $50 million, most of it has come from Check C's. It was originally featured on this channel as Purple during the thick of the pandemic. Then it became called Third Stimulus, and that is the residue you're watching right now. This residue of Third Stimulus is now Check C. Would you like $20,000 to $30,000 for rent? Like everyone from Elizabeth to Mark to Nancy to Richard and Nisi have gotten? Go get Check C. Would you like this type of money for utilities like Angela and Nancy and Mark and others have gotten? Mark's brother-in-law, $15,000. Go get Check C. SNAP, $25,000 a year over 10 years. That's what Mark's brother-in-law is getting. That's $250,000. Combos. Here is Nisi. She's at $50,000 now. Mark, he was at $32,000 then. He's at $166,000 right now. Mark, Nisi, Margaret, Lorraine, and Johnny are among the viewers who understand to get money and continue to get money. That was one of my mandates I said early in this recording. We're going to go over that in just a second. Let's look and see what happened to Mark. Again, he went from $32,000 to $50,000 to $100,000. He got check B is at $166,000. Lorraine, she was at $105,000, and now she's clearly pushing nearly $150,000. Lorraine earlier this week said, you know what, LA, when I first started watching your channel, I had a binder and I started taking notes. And every time I watched the video, I took notes because you said take notes. And I slid in the binder. The binder's now full. I love that so much. Guess what? It's now featured on this channel. The membership newsletter starting this week will now feature lower in the newsletter worksheets. Worksheets. They're individual worksheets that is divided for you and put together for you in the newsletter. What is it? It's basically a PDF. You click the PDF and it'll open up a series of pages. They look like blank pages, but they actually have headings at the top and the Purple Power and Purple Hawk logo in the corner. Headings will be for things like Federal Reserve, inflation or recession or something like that, gasoline, all the different topics I cover in recording. The headings at the top of the page, the rest of the page is blank for you to take notes, so you print them out, and then you take notes in there. And guess what's also coming to that worksheet? It's a breaking news announcement. It's just being announced in this video today. I will also have a grid in there to help people who are going out and getting check A, B, and C. So you can take notes. I called for check A or I applied on this date. It'll have the check A and it'll have a grid and you can put in the date you applied. You can put in the name of the person you spoke to for check C so that you have a way to keep really good track of where you apply. Because guess what? That's what we go over in this recording. We go over the notion of getting money now and going back and getting money. We call it rounds and continue to push. And you're going to do that right now. Early in this week, we saw on videos the importance of getting your heating oil and your gas bill paid now in the thick of the summer. Why? Because I want you to get 40 or 30 or whatever the nominal bill is paid right now, because I want you to have that relationship with John or Jessica or Jared that you speak on the phone in the gas company. This is why the worksheet is helpful. You're going to write down his name, his extension, and his phone number, because you're going to call him back up later this fall when the bill's higher for another 3 or 4 months. Hey, it's me again. I remember you. You can take investment in their family. How's your family doing? Good. Are you surviving this summer pretty well? I am. And I need about 3 months of assistance. I can do that. Your bill's not that much at the moment. Then when you go back to them later this fall, when the bill's higher, they're going to remember you because you established that relationship. In fact, you're going to take notes in your worksheet. The name of the person you called, the phone number, their extension, and in fact, maybe even take notes about their family or what personal anecdotes you shared. So when you call them back up, you can remember really well. Is this sophisticated? This is sophisticated. This is how you do things correctly. This is how you prepare for your family. You're taking notes on where this economy is. You're taking notes on where this economy is going, and you're getting money. And you're taking notes on when you got the money, how you got the money, how you applied for the money. So when you do it again, you'll have it very organized. See how this works? All inspired by Lorraine, and all inspired by you as well. Here's what you also need to know as we go into a big second half today, is that the President of the United States is likely to announce in the next 30 to 60 days student loan debt forgiveness. This will be the final chapter of a story that has really never moved. It was back, I think it was almost 6 months ago, that I said the president's going to forgive $10,000 of student loan debts for individuals who make $150,000 or less. And that's going to be it. And well, that is going to be it, because that announcement is coming in the next few days. Somewhere between now and August, the president's going to make the announcement. I believe he's going to make the announcement probably in late July, early August. $10,000 if you make $150,000 less this year. I have no idea how he's going to work this. If you made $150,000 less last year, but not this year, it's just sort of strange. But he's going to figure it out. He already forgave student loan debts for individuals who became disabled after graduation, went to work in the nonprofit sector after graduation, the public sector, or individuals whose debts were procured by fraud. Go get those incredible sums of money. And we'll watch as that announcement comes in from the White House in the next 90 days. Here's what you also need to know is that the President of the United States, his solutions for gasoline just don't work. And so the situation you have for gasoline is going to continue. Today, going viral is an image on social media. An image that reportedly has been doctored. It's not original, it's fake, but do I care? Let me go over the analysis. The image is a 7-Eleven, and in that image it shows that the price of gasoline being offered at 7-Eleven is 7-Eleven. That caused news reporters to go and confirm whether the image was true or fake. It was confirmed as fake. And then the reports were, well, that's not how much gasoline is in the United States. Folks, come on. This is ridiculous. The price of gasoline in Los Angeles is clearly over $7 currently. And the U.S. national average is tracking a little bit lower today. It's, high $5, $5.11 or something. And it was higher last week. The international price of Brent crude has tracked a little bit lower this week. It went down as low as 208. 208, I believe it was on Wednesday. It's all featured in the membership newsletter daily. And then it tracked up to about 213 today. What's going on? Here again is that sort of Dogecoin analysis. Americans may say, oh, gasoline went down. It's solved. We no longer have higher gasoline. No. Brent crude at 213 is not solved, folks. That is not good. The U.S. Unleaded average from AAA at $5 is not good. The fact that it went down 20 cents today, it can go up 20 cents tomorrow. Let's make this very clear. There is no solution being done by the White House. And at this point, there's likely not going to be one. What has the White House done? The White House has basically butchered this situation really badly and sees no real focus on ever getting it right. Number one, there's 3.5 million barrels of gasoline missing per day. If they're missing per day, the 3.5 million barrels of gasoline, a gasoline shortage drives up price of gasoline. Until you buy 3.5 million barrels of gasoline needed for the United States and the Western allies, gasoline prices will go higher. It's pretty simple. Everyone knows there's a shortage, then gasoline goes higher. If you don't go buy the gasoline, it goes higher. What the White House wants to tell you, which is untrue, is that there's 3.5 million barrels of gasoline in the ground in the United States. There is not. They're trying to portray the American petroleum refinery companies as the evil empire. Not working, because everyone understands that's not enough gasoline in the United States to remove the missing gasoline. In fact, there's gasoline needed to be gotten for all the Western allies to solve it as part of the equation. If the White House doesn't get that done right, what happens? The consumer price index number goes higher. What is that? That is the CPI, the inflationary benchmark. There's a lot of inflationary benchmarks, but we never really saw the Federal Reserve say this is the benchmark they're going to use until this month, in the month of June, when they used the CPI to determine whether to raise rates. They said the CPI was out of control. It came in at 4.5%. As yours truly, said that inflation is going to continue to track high and may not come down because what Jay Powell's doing does not work. And what did he do? He did it again. He raised rates. Jay Powell will continue to raise rates. As gasoline goes higher, the CPI goes higher. Next month, he'll do it again, and he'll continue to do it until people get laid off, recession comes on, and this economy slows dramatically. You see the narrative? It all goes back to gasoline. If gasoline stays high, Jay Powell will continue to raise interest rates because gasoline is part of the consumer price index. It's part of inflation. And as Jay Powell raises rates, people will be laid off, business will go under, we'll be going into recession. It's very, very compelling notion of what's going on. And that's why Liz Warren asked that point-blank question. And he said, it's very likely we're not going to get it right. Not getting it right means you need to get a stimulus check in every U.S. state. You need to get it right today and get it as quickly as possible. Let's go over that. Let's go over those phases again. Even though I said early in this recording, let me say it in clear right now. Do not repeat again. Do not ask what day is Build Back Better Act getting voted on or whatever happened to Build Back Better Act. Congress goes on recess in the month of August. And going on recess in the month of August, there's no way you'll ever get a stimulus check from anything in Build Back Better Act in your hand before phase 2 starts. You need lots of money before phase 2 starts. Lots of it. Not just a measly $600 check. And a new report today talks about the concern of trying to send out stimulus when there's inflation, it doesn't work. It is a contradictory statement in some people's minds. You don't provide stimulus when there's inflation, but you do provide stimulus when there's recession. Well, the recession is not to phase 3. You can't wait to phase 3. You need money right now. So the takeaway is you do not wait for Build Back Better Act. You do not wait for recession. You get that forced stimulus check now in every U.S. state, upward to $80,000. And with that, let's go over the last thing to cover in today's breaking news report. It is your benefits. Congratulations. Your benefits are going up. Your benefits are going up. The chief actuary at Social Security, Steve Goss, confirms. What does he say? He says your benefits are going up about 8% based upon what happened with that May CPI. Wow. Is he correct? Well, let me make it clear. He's at least at 8%, but I think he's actually going to go higher. Let me tell you why. The benchmark for your benefits, if you're on SSI, SSDI, veterans benefits are similar, is currently still COLA. COLA has a sub number that determines COLA, and it's called CPI-W. That sounds familiar. Yes, it's a subsection of CPI. CPI-W goes up when the CPI goes up. Pretty easy. Yeah, it's pretty easy. So Goss was looking at that CPI number from the month of May, or at least this month, the same one Jay Powell looked at, that 8.5% was supposed to be 8.3. He says it's really high. And he says, based upon that number, this is Goss, I'm predicting that your COLA for December will be about 8%. What is Goss doing? He's looking at that number, the CPI-W for May, and he's extrapolating, predicting what's happening in the month of July, August, and September. Those 3 months determine your COLA for the year. Your COLA for the year for December is determined based upon the CPI-W in the month of month of July, August, and September. And so when he looks at that number that was released just a few weeks ago for the month of May, he says, I think this is what's going to happen in July, August, and September. Do I agree? I think it's going to be higher because I don't think they're going to get this gasoline situation solved. They can get it solved. They can go buy 3.5 million barrels of gasoline and get gasoline solved. If they don't, you already know what's going to happen because we already went over the graphic. If they don't get the gasoline solved, then the CPI goes up. And that CPI goes up, then the CPI-W goes up. That means Goss's number may be undervalued. How much do I think it's undervalued? I think it's about 9%. The Seniors League, which is a nonprofit organization, they believe it's about 8.6%. We don't have to guess. We don't have to guess because we're going to see the numbers as a family of the Purple Power community in the month of July coming on in. We're going to see that CPI-W in the month of July. And we'll see if Goss undervalued it or if I had it on the money. I don't know. The last 2 years that this channel's been around since April 2020 launching, I have gotten all my predictions on point. Let's see if I get this one on point. To think that I got the labor numbers right another week in a row, 227 on new jobless claims this week. I said 230. I said 230 last week. It was 229. And then when I was talking about inflation, I said it was going to come in at 8% last December. I said that I said that in February 2021. It came in at 8% in December, and I said it was not going to be temporary. It's going to be sustained. I got it right. In fact, it tracked a little bit higher thereafter. And then, what about this recession? If I'm overshooting, if we don't go into recession, we absolutely will have an economic downturn. There are 2 different types of words. And what I've also been teaching viewers on this channel is do not get tied up with words. There's a lot of words. If your money is worth less money, it's an economic downturn. And don't worry whether it's called a recession or not a recession. What you worry about is making sure your bills are paid. And what you find on this channel is a loving community where people support each other, where people provide a lot of encouragement, motivation to one another. It all comes from information. There's going to be 2 types of people when this economy turns very downward quickly. One type of person is the person who wants lots of information, loves information, wants to be up to date by the minute, by the hour. That's you. The other type of person is the person who simply wants to have the government take care of them when they're in time of need. Sadly, that's not going to happen. The government is not going to take care of the American public at the moment if we go in recession. They have no plans to take care of you if we go in recession. They have plans to take care of you based upon a bill from 2021. And will it get done before the economic pitfalls of September? No. Will it get done before the financial cliff of September? No. That's why I care for you. That's why we care for each other. And that's why we have those 4 stimulus checks in every U.S. state covered on this channel. You do 3 things for your family right today. You make a promise you're going to watch all the videos on this channel every day that are brand new. Number 2, you make a promise to your family that you're up to date on where this economy is and where it's going. And number 3, you get as many 4 stimulus checks in every U.S. state today, and then go back and get more tomorrow, and then continue to get money every day. You don't stop. You keep on making calls. You keep on applying daily, weekly, hourly, as Nisi, Margaret, Johnny, and Lorraine did. It's not a one-day effort. It's a continuing part of your daily routine, getting those 4 stimulus checks in every U.S. state and getting your family financially stable. Join me next for Evenings LALATE at 5 o'clock. It's a brand new show tonight. And with that, stay informed, stay focused, have a beautiful day. Love you to death, and stay here for LA for more.